Hi, hello, vanakkam. I'm very glad to welcome you all to one more edition of VenBa Talks. And before we move on to the product and the founder to whom I'm going to talk about, I just want to set certain expectations. I just want to share thoughts that has been happening in the community in the last couple of weeks or so. I've been seeing a lot of messages asking when was the last time that you bought a deal, and people have been commenting saying that it's been more than a month or probably 2 months, and we didn't find anything interesting, or probably the softwares that we get are not probably mature, and we are spending 2 years time just beta testing the application and all those. So this kind of made me think, saying, are we spending our time in the right place? And this kind of made me search for some tools which are probably mature and may not be available in a deal. But then it's Black Friday week, so definitely there are some insane deals that are going on around. So I thought that I should reach out to an amazing software, and which I really found it useful for my business. And because sales enablement is one of the very very important aspect of any business, and I've always been searching for a tool which can help me do that. And finally, I ended up in this tool called Cliently, and it's been a very interesting discussions that I've had, demo, or the discussion that I had with the Cliently team, including the founder and CEO and his team, Spencer Farber. So I bring to you, introduce you to you all, Spencer Farber, CEO and founder of Cliently. And Cliently is an AI based sales enablement tool, which kind of gives you an overview of the entire sales journey. That is what I have seen. Very very mature tool. A little research that I did about this product. They've been there for more than 4 years, fairly used very well by a lot of enterprises, etc. So I thought that, and in fact, Alston also had a discussion with Spencer, and I said this is a good time for me to bring a product, so that I can see if we would want to invest our time and money in a product that is fairly mature. So with that background, welcome Spencer to Venba Talks, and welcome to the Bring Again group and Alston's group. We are very glad to have you here. And during this 1 hour that we are going to spend, I would want to learn more about Cliently, and particularly, the group community members are all solopreneurs or agencies, etc. So how can your software help in their sales enablement? That is what would be the primary motive of this entire discussion. And probably if there is any interesting Black Friday deal, that would be helpful to any of our community members or people like me to sign up for Cliently. So with that as the background, can you quickly tell a little about you and the organization, and why did you develop Cliently? So that would be a good place to start our discussion with.
Absolutely. So first off, thank you for the opportunity to speak here today, and also thank you and thanks for just a chance to show off what we're doing to the group. But yeah, I always like to give maybe a quick 30-second background that helps people understand why Cliently is created, where we were meant to help. So I've been in the SaaS space now for which feels like a lifetime. I want to say almost 8 or 9 years. I started with a company that some of you might be familiar with called Pandadoc. It's a document automation tool.
Yeah.
It was one of the new unicorns that I'm very proud of, because I was one of the first employees there. Not one of the founders, just to be clear, but one of the very, very first employees there, before it was even a product called Pandadoc. And when we were a young product and had no exposure and very little credibility because of that, one of the hardest things was, how do we get out there to different types of companies to make sure that they've heard of us when they weren't going to find us otherwise. Everybody was using EchoSign, which I think has now been acquired, or they were using, of course, DocuSign, etc. And as a small company at the time, we had no funding. Then, after that, we got a very little bit. We needed a way to act bigger than just ourselves. And there's ways to do that in the marketing side, which I think, we had some great people on our team to help with that. But I was really there to help us from the sales side. And that's what, I explored while I was at Pandadoc. And then after putting together a lot of different things, you can call them hacks, whatever you want to call it, thought
Okay.
maybe there's a better way to do this and left to start Cliently.
Fantastic. So, just I mean, digression. In fact, a personal interest as well. In fact, I've been a user of Pandadoc, and it's a phenomenal application. So, is there any Black Friday deal that would be available for Pandadoc as well?
That
With your good officers, is there anything that you could influence? We'll keep that aside. But then I don't want to digress, and I really wanted to say
yeah,
I really enjoyed using Pandadoc.
that I unfortunately don't know. I haven't been there in about 4 years, and uh, sold all my stock originally very early on to start Cliently.
Fair
So
enough.
I don't know. I know it's a good product and it's definitely worth the money, but unfortunately don't
Okay.
have those ties there anymore.
Fantastic. So, I mean, I heard you say that Cliently has been there for 4 years. Is that right? You've been building this. So, I mean, what kind of customers do you have on Cliently, or how large is your customer base? Is there any indication that you would give to us?
Sure. So, yeah, we started, a little over 4 years ago. With a lot of startups, you have a lot of pivots based on where you start to go with the product based on feedback from clients, etc. Right now, the majority of our clients are, small to mid-sized businesses with a couple of enterprises. But really, the way that our product was built today was to help small businesses basically act, 10 times bigger than themselves, to be able to create efficiencies in the sales side of where to spend time, where to focus to reach out in a more automated fashion. So small to
Okay.
mid size has been our focus. And
Okay.
business to
Fantastic.
and usually business to business, to be clear, doesn't mean that we can't be used in a business to consumer capacity, but I will say our strength is business to business.
Okay. So if I heard you right, you have customers right from small businesses to enterprises. Uh, but uh, but who is this targeted at? When you started this application, probably you might have targeted this at a certain size of organization. What was the original target, or are you still there?
So, I mean, the original target was for anybody that was doing a sales motion, right? So
Okay.
somebody that was looking to sell every day, and that could be a small, solopreneur of one person. That could be teams that had, 50, 20, 40, 50 people. Um, does that not mean that we're looking to maybe help, serve clients that are bigger? Sure. But right now, our focus and the way we've built the tool and the ease of the use was meant
Okay.
for, I'd really say that one up to, 50 to 100 type of audience primarily.
Fantastic. Yeah, because when I went through your website, I was looking at a lot of sales team and all those things. So, I mean, if you take my organization, and probably I'm the only sales guy, and beyond that, there isn't anyone in the organization. I may want to recruit, but then, for my size, I'm still piggybacking on my brand and all those. That's how I'm building my business. So that is where this question came up, saying, would it really be helpful for a single salesperson or a solopreneur like me? I mean, I'm not a solopreneur. I do have a 30-member team, but when it comes to a sales team, I have a very small team, or just one person. So, do you think Cliently would work? I mean, I'm sorry to ask this again and again, because the primary audience of the communities that I'm part of are typically the small agencies, and where there is one to maximum of five salespeople, five being really being a big number. So that's why, I mean, I'm just stressing on that point, saying that would it still help a solopreneur, when it comes to sales enablement using Cliently?
So part of the reason that we are doing this Black Friday offering, and we haven't done one in a long time, is,
Okay.
and I'll go into it in more detail in a few minutes, is a brand new feature, and it's more than a feature really. It's a way of doing things that allows one person to act as 10 plus, to be able
Okay.
to engage with, literally 5 to 10 times as much as they normally would. And where is that most important? It's in these small businesses. It's how we do business. We're a small
Got
company
you.
too. We still, have about maybe 12 people or so on staff. And so, yes. Is there a use case for teams? Yes, but it's different. The one that we've just built out is meant, and I'm going to take everybody through it. This use case of how do I reach this many people because without a sales team? if I'm the only one doing sales, or
Yeah,
perhaps I'm a lead agency and I have just a few people, but they're dealing with a lot of different accounts. How do I handle that and still scale? So, absolutely. And that's a big thing that you'll see in just a few minutes today.
fantastic. So can we quickly go to the demo because we would want to see the software working in action rather than all this discussion. That's what will make people get interested in that. And
Sure. What I
primarily take I mean, though the software is capable of doing a lot of other things, let's look at a solopreneur journey only while you are showing a demo, and then probably you can look at other team features, etc. That's what would be helpful for the people who are watching this particular talk.
Yeah, absolutely. What I'd like to do is very quickly take everybody through maybe a 2 or 3 minute deck to
Sure.
understand the specific use case that
Perfect.
you just mentioned, and then we'll dive right in. So let me share that screen here.
Yeah.
Give me 1 second to find it on here.
Next to the video button, right
Oh,
below.
no problem. Yep, just finding the right tab, um, or right window, I should say. Okay, here it is. And
Yep.
let me go ahead and share this and make it present.
Yeah. Your screen is visible now.
Okay, perfect. Okay, so you're seeing prospecting times 10? Is that what everybody's seeing?
Yeah.
Okay, perfect. So yeah, I want to take everybody through this specific use case. So, again, picture yourself as you're just yourself right now trying to do sales, even if you have a bigger team, but they're not really handling the sales aspect of it. And by the
Mhm.
way, there's other things you can do besides just your outbound prospecting, but I'm going to focus on that because I think that is a huge way to get business that people have never found you, never heard of you, without spending tens of thousands of dollars on
Agree.
Google AdWords, those types of things. So I want to show everyone how they can send thousands of messages to leads daily. So first off, everybody knows that there's limitations between domains and things of that nature. So I'll get into that briefly as well. First off, this is outside of Cliently, but just to make everybody aware, you need to get a list somewhere. You might have an existing list. There's also, a bunch of different sources you can get data from: ZoomInfo, Seamless AI,
Hmm.
Upleads, Lucia, and I'm sure you guys are already familiar with that. And again, existing lists are really important. I see people all the time, they have lists that go back for years that are thousands of people that they're not doing anything with. And I'm not just talking about sending a marketing newsletter. We're talking about sales engagement, which is being able to do one-to-one engagement, but doing it at scale. So first thing is you get your list. Great. Okay. And that's the same whether you're an individual solopreneur or if you are a lead gen agency, you need lists. All right. Well, number two, what we're usually finding now is you're going to get multiple domains and email addresses. Just an example, you might have Spencer at Cliently as Farber at Cliently, Farber at Cliently, and then you might have another domain, Spencer at Cliently AI as Farber at Cliently AI, Farber at clientlyai.com, etc. So right there, that allows me to send 6 times the amount of messages that I normally would. Most systems allow you to send, somewhere between a few hundred up to a couple of thousand. Ours is no different. You can send up to 2,000 a day. But if this is completely brand new prospecting, you do not want to do that. Even if you've already warmed up your domain, I'll get to that in a second, you don't usually want to send more than about 100 a day. So now just to send 600, which is a pretty good amount, you're having to struggle and manage these 6 different accounts, which can be a real nightmare. So even if you've got that, that's what you need to do first off to set up to get to ability to send this many. Now you need to warm up your email addresses. Now, one thing that we give you the ability to do is, I know there's all these warm up systems out there. What we still think is the best way to do it is to just create a limit of how many you send a day. And you can do that for each account, whether that's 10, 20, you can again send that up to 2,000 while you warm that up with just a couple of clicks. And what you're able to do is monitor your open rate to see as that slowly goes up. And even if you want to take 10,000 leads and dump them into a campaign, do that at the beginning. You can still set all your parameters, but make sure you're only sending the right amount a day until you have built that up. Now, one thing we also do that's really unique is we have our own algorithm. Instead of saying send one email every 1 second or 10 emails every minute, we literally only send anywhere between 5 to 20 emails every 30 to 300 seconds, completely random. Why is that important? It protects your domain. It doesn't look like it's a robot doing that. It makes it much more organic. So the next thing is, instead of using tasks, we use what's called recipes. And by the way, guys, I'm going to get into this in our app in just a second, but I want to set the use case. What a lot of people do is they create what we call these flows: email day 1, day 5, day 10, etc. Right? But the problem is, in between, they'll set, okay, I want to do a call on day 3, I want to do a LinkedIn message on day 8, those types of things. But those manual tasks, is it can become, you know, completely consuming of your time, that either as a solopreneur you don't have time for, as a lead agency you've got to handle multiple accounts, and it's just not efficient. You can call 100 people and maybe only get in, touch with 3. What we give you the ability to do is to create recipes so you're contacting the right ones and your flows are still going in the right time. And again, I'll get into more detail in just a moment or two. And then what you're also doing is you're tracking responses based on who's engaged to understand where to focus that time. Now, the biggest piece that we're about to release is called conversations. So I've seen a mix of different things. I've seen people, in order to get messages from 10 different accounts, they'll have 10 different inboxes that they'll be closing and opening and signing in and out of. They'll use secondary, second inbox type of tools like Mailbird or things of that nature. But I've never seen it tied to their engagement tool. And it shouldn't just be an email. We want you to look at these as conversations and be able to understand who's responding to you and be able to track all of that in one place. So let me stop there and let me get into the application to give you guys a better representation of specifics that I'm talking about here. So I'm going to share a different screen in just a second. All right, let me go ahead and share this. It's not the right one. There we go. Okay. Is everybody looking at a page that says flows?
Yes.
Is that what you're seeing? Okay,
Yeah.
perfect.
Yeah.
All right. So first off, the thing is, and there's a lot of systems out there that do what's called flows. Now, there's a couple of things that make this unique, which I think is really important. One is, in order to get in touch with people at a much higher rate, you need to do more than just email, and that's why some of you are doing LinkedIn and you're also doing calls, which is important, but those are task driven. You need to do more. And so what we do is we give you the ability to, first off, very easily create these flows, have them stop if anybody replies, all the basic information there, and schedule what days you want them to go out and what times you want them to go out. And it'll automatically sync to whatever time zone that you're in so that it's hitting the person at a time that's more organic. But what makes it really unique here is that you're able to do more than just email. You're able to do other things such as video messaging. So if I want to create a flow here, for example, I can click a button. I can do email, pretty standard. I can grab my merge fields, great. Okay, I'll grab first name and I can type in my message, add my signature, all standard stuff. But what I really want to show you is, how do I increase engagement? Well, the first way you do that is with video messaging. And there's video message tools out there, but rarely are they combined directly into a flow. We want to make it super easy. Now, why do you use video messaging? Video messaging can give you, what we've seen, anywhere from a 5 to 10 times higher conversion rate than a standard email. People can see you, they can hear you. That builds trust and it builds credibility. You can tell a story, you can use emotion. That guides people to actually feel something rather than just hearing, or just reading content. And so I can literally click a button here, and then you can see me again now, and I can record a video to my audience. Why did I start this business? Where do I think I can help that specific type of client, etc.? It helps convey my message in another way to increase my engagement. So we want to give multiple ways. Besides video messaging, another thing that we do is we offer physical items. And the one that we do internationally is postcards. We do a couple of items within the US, like handwritten notes and gift cards, but postcards we do international. And why is physical important? Because at this stage, people aren't getting that many things in the mail anymore. So when they do, it holds significance. Well, why aren't more people putting physical items into their flows, because it's, as I mentioned, I did a lot of hacks at Pandadoc. You had to put all these tools together. It was a mess. But literally in just a minute, I'll add another time delay here. I can add a physical item. So I can add a postcard, and I can add any image to this that I want. I can grab a template, but let me see if I have an image handy that I can add. I can add any image to the front, and I can add any image to the back as well. And then I can type in my message, and I can still use merge fields. So now if you have that address, which you'll a lot of times get from these lists that you're getting to send to clients, you now have a whole entire way of reaching out to people other than just email, video messaging, direct mail. And when you do all these things together, your engagement rate skyrockets. The other nice part about efficiency is there a cost to the physical items? Sure. Our postcards are $1 within the US, $2 internationally. There's going to be a special offer at the end, by the way, I'll mention there. But if the reply comes in before it reaches the postcard status of your flow, the flow will stop and you're not sending your postcard. So even those that are using methods where you're sending some physical items, you're saying, all right, let me send off 100 postcards, versus what if I could send off 100 emails and then only send off 80 postcards to the other ones that haven't responded yet? So we give you the ability to put all of these together. Now, what most people do as well is they'll put in task, and you can do that. You can put in a task on a certain day. I want to call, I want to do a LinkedIn message, and we give you the ability, but we think there's a better way. And that's where we came up with our real-time view. Now, what our real-time view is a way to see how people are engaging as it's actually happening. And why is this important? Because this is showing intent. So instead of just saying, I'm going to call somebody because it's day 3 or day 10, which gives you a much lower likelihood of getting connected with them, you're going to connect with them when they're showing that intent. That means less calls, but higher conversion. Literally, this means that you can convert with 10 times the amount of people, without doing 10 times as many calls, or without doing 1/10 as many calls. So what you can see, for example, in this example is Hernan Contreras has opened my email 3 days ago. And you can see when I actually sent this last message, it was 87 days ago, I sent a video message. So why did they open it 3 days ago? I can see every time they've opened it. I can come in here and I can also see every time they've watched my video, how long they've watched it, when they've clicked it, if they've clicked on any of my other links. So if I am going to decide to reach out and connect with them now, I have the understanding of what's going on and what that level of intent is. Or if I'm going to do a really custom LinkedIn message, now I can spend a couple of minutes on StratoDesk, find out a little bit more about them, and the chances that they reply back have gone up significantly. Instead of just doing a effect of calling every single person or emailing a personal email to everybody, I'm using the automation to let them surface. And when they do, that's when I'm doubling down, focusing in. And now I can even do a one-off video message. If I want to come in and do one-off video message just for this one contact, I can right here and make it super personal. And that's where the sales engagement comes in. Yes, you're using automation, but you're also going to engage with them on a one-to-one basis when it makes sense. And you can create all sorts of filters to create recipes. So maybe I want to create a recipe to know everybody that has, let's see, that's clicked at least one of my links. Because to me, if you've clicked a link, that shows a much higher level of intent than just an open. But you know what? I also want to know if that engagement has happened in the last, let's see. You know what? Let's see the last time I've heard from them, or last time they've engaged with me. Say the last 60 days. I can track that as well. And now I want to make sure, has there been any replies? Because if they've replied to me, maybe I don't want to reach back out. We're already in a conversation. So I can even look at that. Email and video replies equals 0. And so now I've got this entire list of people that I can reach out to one by one. Or you know what? Maybe I want to quickly throw them into a brand new flow. So I can literally just click a button here and I can add them to a new flow. And we even have smart settings to make sure that you don't make it look impersonal by sending to 2 flows to the same person at one time. So it'll tell me if anybody's already in a flow and I can move them. And then I can quickly add them to the flow of my choice. I can see which flows are getting the highest conversion. And bam, it's off and running. So really easy then as well to move people into new flows or do one-off actions. So the last thing that I want to show is the feature I'm most excited about to help manage all of these inboxes. In fact, you know what? Let me go to that in just 1 minute. One other thing I do want to show here is we talked about, what if I have these 10 different email addresses? How do I track all my replies? So what you're able to do here, for example, is, let me clear these filters, is I can look at filters based on contact owner. So if I have several different owners here, and you can see in this case, I've got all these different Justins, who's a real person on our team, but all these different Justins from different email addresses. I can select all of them or just a few of them and track replies from all of those. So instead of missing replies like I may have before, or missing engagement, or having to go from inbox to inbox, or even the ones that do show me engagement have to go to account, I can see all of that in one place. And so again, if I just want to see all the replies, I can see that as well. And so it quickly filters that information for me, and I can even hover over, see what the last thing was. I can see if they are unsubscribed, and I can quickly see that messaging all in one place. So that's the last part I want to show you before I get to conversations, which is the piece that I'm most excited about. So as mentioned earlier, if you are using multiple domains, or you're a lead gen agency and you're handling multiple accounts, whatever it might be, you're having to shift between different inboxes. It becomes a nightmare. You have to figure out when you respond to them, if you've responded to them yet, and keep up with all of that. Also, if you're trying to handle clients' accounts, you've got to have access to their inboxes. Here, by integrating your account, we've created this feature called Conversations, where you can come in as one person and monitor conversations from all types of different owners, whether that owner is you, whether that owner might be somebody on your team. You can see all of that information in one place, and you can shift from conversation to see what's going on. And so right here, you can see everything that's going on, number one. And number two, you can reply in one place. So I can come in here, for example, and if I wanted to come in, and here's one, for example, that's not owned by me, but I can come in, and by the way, you can see I started to type in here. If I have my response already typed, it will save it, even if I come back days or weeks later. So now, and it automatically can capture my signature and have all that information ready to go. And now I can simply type back. And I'm done. And so this gives you an amazing place to capture everything in one place, reply in one place, and instead of switching from inbox to inbox or individual Chrome instance to Chrome instance, et cetera, you've now cut your time down to minutes. And all of your field serve, all the information, you can see too as you reply back, so you understand what's going on, and it's also editable in case you need to make any changes. By the way, guys, we do have integrations with a few different CRMs directly: HubSpot, Pipedrive, and Salesforce today. Our system can also be used as a CRM if you don't have one, but if you are working with those, you can do all of these different types of things, including create videos, etc., right inside of those CRMs. We also have a Zapier integration. So let me stop there. Thank you. I don't know if there's anything else that you think I should mention or questions before I sort of get into our offering.
Okay, there is. Let me look at the various streams for questions. But before that, I mean, I did hear you. See, these postcards that you're talking about, which can be sent. What is it? What is it for? Some. So, for example, I'm in India. Okay, and my clients could be in or could be in Australia or India as well. So, does the physical cards work for people outside US also, or is it only for US?
So the postcards can be sent anywhere across the world, which is the nice
Okay,
part.
okay,
Australia, India, Canada, etc. And so that way, it's something that you can mix no matter where you are.
okay. So it's not just confined to US alone. It is everywhere. Okay,
Exactly right.
and did I also see those coupons that you can do for Starbucks or things like that? So that is not a are there coupons that I can give, gift coupons that I can give to my clients using Cliently?
So we have handwritten notes, which are actually done by real people, and handwritten notes with gift cards. Now that feature, unfortunately, is only within the United States today. We do plan on making that international in the future, but today that one is only within the US.
Okay, fair enough. So there's one more question about the CRM. So you mentioned that Cliently can also be used as a CRM. Is that right? May not be a full-fledged one, but but basic operations could be done. Is that a fair assumption?
Yeah, so that view I showed you, the real-time view was for contacts. We also have that for companies, which is really unique. So if you're doing account-based marketing, but we also have that for deals. We also have the ability to, add different stages and pipelines and custom fields, and make sure any notes that you take or any emails that come in or out of the system, or even if you're not using it, even if you're sending it from your Gmail, etc., are all going to be attached to those contacts and companies and deals. So absolutely, you can use it as a CRM as well. I always like to call it
Okay.
sort of a CRM light if you need it. And for a lot of companies, it's more than what you need.
Fantastic. So there's been some good comments about the UI. People seem to like the UI of Cliently. There's some nice feedback about it. I mean, one popular question is, are you planning to have lifetime deals? I mean, is that possible to have during this Black Friday, or uh, there's no lifetime deal? So before we really go on to the offer,
Sure.
there has been a question, so I just wanted to ask you about it.
Yeah, I understand that a lot of people in the group that's something they're familiar with. I will tell you that um, unfortunately we're not doing a lifetime deal, but I do think the return on investment that you would get from a product like ours uh, trumps that times 100, and I'll tell you why. A lot of
Yeah.
lifetime deals are products that have maybe spent $40,000-$50,000 to build it.
Mm-hmm.
We've spent over $1.5 million on our product.
Okay.
So the
Okay.
price that you're getting for the product that we're going to show on our lifetime deal, number one, I think gives you way more value than you get on the average lifetime deal, and
Sure.
also gives you, number two, way more return on investment because of how you can use it. So that's a big thing. But number three, we still are giving the best deal that we've ever given since day one. And again, a
Okay.
big part of that is because of the new features that we want to get out to as many people, and we're only doing this, a short term for Black Friday. So unfortunately, no lifetime deal, but in my opinion, fortunately, it's still well worth it. And another thing it does is it grandfathers you in going forward. So that means if you
Fantastic.
get this pricing, even as our pricing continues to go up, and this is already way less than our current pricing now, you get this pricing going forward, which to me is also
Okay.
another big advantage as we add more
Grandfather.
features.
The price is grandfather, whatever we get today. Is that right?
Exactly right.
Okay, fair enough. So before we get to the offer, um, I mean there is 1 minute. There's one more question that has come up. Okay, do you have a public roadmap of where you are going to take Cliently? Is
We
that
don't.
something that people?
Yeah, no, good question. Sorry. Yeah, we don't today. Something that maybe we should add in the future. I've seen a lot of people do that through like Trello boards and things like that. We don't. I can tell people where we're going in the future, and I'm very excited about. And the reason, Venki, that you and I got connected is we haven't announced it publicly, but we've acquired an AI technology, and with them we brought their amazing founder Harsh Gupta over with us as well, who's a data scientist by I guess his main passion. And so there's going to be a lot of AI brought into our
Okay,
technology over the coming months and after, um, where our roadmap is mainly focused.
fantastic. So do you have? I mean, Mausam Chaudhary has asked a question saying that do you have onboarding video tutorials available, because it's a fairly detailed software. So it will be helpful if there are video tutorials to help. I mean, bring me up to speed in terms of using the application in the best possible way.
Yes. So one of the things about being a more established company is we have probably, I would guess at this point, a couple of hundred pages in our FAQ. about every specific part of our application, which you can
Okay.
search very easily. We also, by the way, have live chat support about 50 hours a week. If we're, it's mainly within, certain time zones, but we'll always get back to people within 6 to 8 hours. And we also have a video that actually I created myself specifically on our Black Friday page that goes over a very in-depth use case of sort of what we went into today.
Okay. Fantastic. So I think those are the questions that has come up from the various streams. So can we go to the offer? And I mean, I've already said it's some insane Black Friday offer. So I do not know if it would be really insane. Without asking you, I just use certain adjectives in my uh, marketing laterals as well. But then can we quickly show the pricing and also the Black Friday deal that people get? And okay, probably I'll keep the next question once you show the offer.
Okay, and you can see my screen again, correct?
Yes, yes.
Oh, wrong side. Let me find our pricing page here. Give me 1 second. Okay, so first, here's our standard pricing. We're $89 per user per month. Are there less
Okay.
expensive tools? Sure. Are there more expensive tools? Yeah. Tools like ours, just to be clear, guys, generally go for sometimes as much as double. But that
Hmm.
we give a lot for what you're getting here. Especially this since we just added this conversations feature, which I think is going to be really big for you guys. So let me get to the
Okay.
Black Friday offering. The Black Friday offering starts with first off, you're going to get everything our application offers. And by the way, here, guys, here's a video that gives you a great overview of everything sort of that we went through. But here's what we're doing for Black Friday. We are offering, even if you're just one user account and you only want to use it, and a user, by the way, is an email address. So if you want to use 5 or 10 email addresses, that's why we have these other accounts here. We're offering even bigger discounts. But even starting at one user, we're slashing almost, I think, 60% off. If you're a lead agency, or again, you're one person that wants to do 5 or 10 accounts, think about almost like stacking coupons. We're doing that for 29 a user, and down and
Okay.
down and down that goes all the way to as low as $14 a user per month. So we are discounting up to almost 85 plus or 90% of our pricing, depending on how many users you want. But even at one license, it's 60+%. Most of these Black Friday deals are doing 40 or 50. I think our pricing is already really good. Besides that, and one last thing, and this is just for this group as well. We think the physical aspect of adding postcards is really, really useful in getting out to
Yes.
your clients. We're doing something different than lead agencies.
True.
So, what we're also doing as well is for any of these accounts, we're offering 100 free postcards. And that's, whether you're national or international, which is really unique for us because our international postcards cost us more. So even that, they usually cost 2 credits, but even then, we're doing 100 free postcards for you guys to do this Black Friday special per user license you purchase. So that means if you get this account, you're only spending, I think, I forget the math, I think it's like 450 or something for the entire year, and you get 100 postcards. If you get this one, you're getting 500 postcards, 1,000 postcards, etc. So that's an
O-
actual physical 4x6 that gets mailed off to your client, mixed in with video messaging, conversations, real-time view, etc. And that's just for
Okay.
this group. So you won't see that listed here. So, oh, sorry, go ahead, Vicky.
No, no. This 100 postcards, is it a one-time credit or is it yearly?
So, you know what? It was planning on being a one-time credit, but you know what? Let's do it yearly. It's put me on the spot, but I think you know what I want to get everybody really taking advantage of what I think our application can help with. I think more people should send postcards, and I think that will help them do it. So, you know what, that will be something that will grandfather in as well. And
Okay.
we're not listing that on these Black Friday pages. So to be able to take advantage of that, if it's something that somebody comes on and purchases here from this group, or that's heard about us from this group or this call, uh, what we're going to do is give you a keyword. In fact, I'm going to let Venki choose it in your intercom message. That way we know everybody got it from being on this, that they can type in when they, after they purchase, they'll get a pop-up message in our system, and we'll know to add those postcards for them going forward.
That's a 1 minute. I'm just typing the code. Did I let me display? Just check if I've understood you. Use code bring again to get 100 postcards per year. Is that right?
per user.
Okay, per user per
Per
year.
year.
Okay.
So if you get the one user, you get 100. If you get the five, you get 500, and the discounts go down accordingly, guys. So for example, on the 5 user plan, you're saving 3,600 a year. And guys, keep in mind, 5 users, even if you're one person, that means even if you could send out 500 emails a day. So I always like to help think about the ROI there. If your goal is to prospect and to get, a reasonable rate of return, maybe even call it conservatively 1% of really hot prospects engage back, through the life of a flow. If you're able to hit up, 500 people a day, and granted, you're going to hit them up each a few times through the month. So figure, let's call it, 3,000 people a month instead of 20% of that. So let's call it 3,000 people a month, and 1% engaged. That's 30 people, and you turn 20% of those into deals. Look at that. Your deal size, if it's $1,000 or if it's $5,000 or $10,000, you can do the math there. Your ROI can be anywhere from 5,000 to 50,000, 100,000, and that's why these extra accounts help, because you're dividing that in five or dividing that in 10. And again, even if before you go get these different accounts somewhere else, how do you then handle them? And so our goal is that if you're handling 5 user accounts, for example, and putting these into flows, you can literally, you know, manage that process in less than an hour a day. And that's
Okay.
one part that I probably
So
didn't speak enough to, but is really important. And that's how we've done it.
fantastic.
That's how we scaled Pandadoc. That's how we've done a lot with Cliently as well.
Okay, for late tuners, this is not a lifetime deal. Cliently is a very mature application. They've been in business for the last 4 years with, uh, with a lot of customers. And for the first time, they are coming out with a Black Friday deal. And normally, their cost is $89 per user. But for this Black Friday deal, it can go down up to $14 per user, depending on the number of users. And apart from that, as a special gesture for this particular event, if you say the code bring again in their intercom, you get 100 postcards per year per user free. And these postcards can be sent internationally. It's not only in the US, it could be sent to any of your customers across the globe. And this is 100 postcards per year per user. This is an additional deal apart from what is available on the website. And the normal pricing is $89, which can go down up to up to $14, depending on the number of users that you sign up. So again, it's a grandfather deal. Yes, Jit, you are right. It's a grandfather deal, recurring annual, and this will, whatever features that get added, or how much ever the prices increase, our prices will remain the same till the time that you are subscribed to for this particular deal.
And
So
one thing I always like to, oh, sorry, go ahead.
yeah, yeah, please, Spencer.
I was just gonna say one thing that I always like to make clear, because sometimes people still think like a postcard, they think it's virtual because people just don't do physical enough anymore. Just to be
Yeah,
clear, guys, especially for ones that came in late. Am I still sharing my screen? I am, right? Uh,
you are.
these are real postcards. Like they literally get mailed. They'll be in that person's mailbox. And I can't tell you how many demos, appointments, etc., sometimes even deals we've got just off of a postcard, because a postcard on its own, so what? But when you're mixing a postcard with an image that means something to that person, and on top of it, it's then followed up automatically with an email or a video message, and then calling at the right time, those types of things becomes really, really powerful. And again, keep in mind here, guys, if you want to come in and say, I have a list of 1,000 people, and I want to set up a flow to send an email, a video, and a postcard, you could literally have that ready to go in 30 minutes that quickly. And we showed you through the call, and you'll be able to see more of that on that video on the Black Friday deal as well.
Fantastic. So uh, in the event links, you will also have links from where you could buy cliently subscriptions, or you can directly go to cliently.com and then subscribe for it, and then let the support in intercom know that you are coming from the bring again group to claim your additional offer. So that's it from our side. Any questions? Feel free to shoot it at Spencer. Okay, looks like there are no questions. And Spencer would be available on LinkedIn and also in the Facebook group. And feel free to post your questions under this stream, in whichever stream that you're watching, be it YouTube or Facebook or Twitter or LinkedIn. He or his team would be very glad to answer any questions that you may have. And this deal is available till when, Spencer? We did not talk about it.
Sure. So it's available till November 30th. And so
Okay.
technically we're starting this deal on Thursday, but we're going to make it live to you guys now if anybody wants to get started early. Because, for example, we've seen a lot of great, outbound campaigns that take place right after Thanksgiving. So that'll give you time to get something ready to send out the following Monday if you wanted to. And by the way, guys, as mentioned, for some of you that came on late, my expertise is really creating processes here, and that's what our app does. And so, it was one of those things where hopefully we get enough people from your group to sign up, and if so, what I will start doing on a monthly basis is having sort of group calls to where we can talk about strategy. Using our application, of course, but I use our application as well. But using our application to help you guys, whether it's with the campaign creation and coming up with interesting campaigns, or when you should be engaging, or what types of recipes to use. That's something that I look forward to engaging with the team personally uh, as well. And yeah,
Fantastic.
that's all I have.
Yeah. So thank you so much. In fact, I should also thank your colleague, Karina Chavla, who made this
Hmm.
happen. She's the one who reached out to us,
Okay, you spoke with
asking.
Karina, not Harsh. Sorry about that. Yeah,
Yeah, so please do share our wishes to Karina also. Otherwise, this session would not have happened.
I
And
will.
thank you, people watching us, in the Bring Again group or Alston's group, or in LinkedIn or in YouTube. Please do, if in case you're tuned in late, to watch the video again and ask any questions in any of the forums that you're watching it. And Spencer or his team would be very glad to answer. And once again, this is a monthly, rather, it's a subscription deal. It's not a lifetime deal. The normal subscription is for $89, and the price can go down to $14 depending on the number of users that you subscribe, which is a grandfathered pricing. And as a special offer to Bring Again group, if you just tell the code Bring Again, you will get 100 postcards per physical postcards per year per user, which is not part of the regular Black Friday deal. Thank you so much. Thanks for watching us.
Thanks, guys.